This question comes from Ellen, who wonders, what if someone threw a baseball at 90% the speed of light? Let's ignore, for a moment, how on earth we managed to accelerate a baseball that fast. Maybe a miracle, maybe advanced alien technology. Whatever the method, the instant the pitcher releases it, the ball instantly jumps to 0.9 c, or about 600 million miles per hour. From that moment forward, everything that happens follows the rules of ordinary physics, just at an extraordinary scale. And what happens next isn't good news for anyone involved at such unimaginable speed. The baseball crosses the pitching mound in less than a billionth of a second. To the ball, everything else, the air, the batter, the field, is practically frozen in time. Air molecules, which normally bounce around at a few hundred miles per hour, seem completely still compared to this blinding projectile. Under normal conditions, air flows smoothly around a baseball, forming currents and turbulence. But at 90% the speed of light, aerodynamics no longer applies. The air doesn't have time to move aside. Instead, every molecule the ball touches slams head-on into it with catastrophic force. Each impact is so violent that it crushes atomic nuclei together, causing nuclear fusion. Every collision releases bursts of gamma rays, X-rays, and showers of subatomic particles. The air itself begins to glow with blinding intensity. Almost instantly, the space around the ball turns into a miniature fusion reactor. The gamma radiation tears electrons away from atoms, turning the air into a seething plasma bubble that expands outward at nearly the speed of light. To an observer, it looks as if a tiny sun has ignited over the pitcher's mound. The surface of this growing sphere of plasma races toward the batter, trailed only slightly by the baseball itself. The front of the ball is being vaporized atom by this violent energy. The force of a nuclear reaction pushes back, almost like a rocket's thrust, but the ball is moving so fast that even these thermonuclear blasts barely slow it down. Instead, the baseball disintegrates, flinging microscopic fragments in every direction. Each fragment slams into the air and triggers even more fusion. After about 60 nanoseconds, a wave of intense X-rays reaches home plate. A few billionths of a second later, the remains of the baseball, now a glowing, bullet-shaped cloud of plasma, arrives. The batter never sees it coming. The light from the pitcher's release reaches home plate at nearly the same moment as the shockwave. By the time the batter would see the pitch, the world has already ended. The ball, or what's left of it, hits the bat first, but instantly obliterates everything in its path. The batter, catcher, umpire, the backstop, and a good chunk of the surrounding stadium. In a microsecond, the entire ballpark is engulfed in a blinding flash of plasma and X-rays. The energy released is comparable to a small nuclear detonation. From a hill miles away, you'd see a brilliant flash, far brighter than the sun, rising into the sky. A fireball balloons upward, forming a mushroom cloud that expands over the ruins of the city. Moments later, the shockwave arrives, a deafening, earth-shaking roar that tears trees from the ground, shatters buildings, and flings debris for miles. Within a 1-mile radius, everything is flattened. Fires break out across the landscape as the city is consumed in a roaring firestorm. Where the baseball field once stood, there is now a smoking crater, several hundred feet wide, still glowing faintly with residual heat and radiation. The batter, the pitcher, and everyone in the stadium are gone, vaporized in less than a millionth of a second. And according to Major League Baseball Rule 5.05b2, if a batter is struck by a pitch, they're awarded first base. So technically, by the book, the batter is hit by pitch and may advance to first. If, of course, there were anything left of the field or the planet.